Hey guys, welcome to day 5 of Ghibli Week here on the Alashine channel. And today we are being spirited away by a lost piece of, what do you call this? Stationery? I don't know. But, forced joke aside, yes. Today we're talking about the one that I feel like really put Studio Ghibli on the map in the Western sphere was the movie Spirited Away. I like Spirited Away, and I remember being a teenager growing up. It came out in 2001, so I probably would have been right around like 12 or 13 years old. And, oh, I guess it came out in 2001, but it won an Academy Award in 2003. So yeah, I would have been like a little bit older than that. I would have been like 14, 15 years old. And I remember like they made a big deal about it because it was like Eastern stuff doesn't really like get all that much traction over here. But that one, it won the award, and I felt like that really opened a lot of people's eyes to it. What does it say? It reads, "My journal," in tiny letters on the cover. It's hard not to, but I probably shouldn't peek inside. I'm guessing that means it belongs to a girl of some sort. Hey, Rolf. How's it going, Rolf?
Your mug looks familiar. Of course, I remember you. Well, I'm here again, ready to make memories and take home a bunch of animal stories. You'll see me wandering around, but I'm always up for a chat if the mood hits you, Grolf.
Not bad. Not bad at all. You should take this book to a girl, but, um, tell you what, this rainy night, it kind of feels like what I would have imagined Spirited Away could probably feel like. Visual punk shoes. I have never seen those before. Pick that up right quick. Cool. Perfect, perfect. But, I remember, that was the big thing about it. When it first came out. It was just a big deal. It was portrayed as like the best film to ever come out of Japan, which that's subjective. Primarily, it's subjective. It's may or may not be true, but each person's going to have their own opinions regarding the concept of what is the best. But in terms of getting an award, there was none that won an award prior to it. So it was like it really just showed that like Disney is like the only company that can really make a great film, animated film at least, and it was just really awesome. Let's see. Sorry, Chris, this isn't mine. It's pretty cool, and I really like to keep it. But yeah, not mine. I've seen maybe Fauna with something like this before. Maybe. So it's Fauna's. Okay, cool. But in case you haven't seen the movie or heard anything about it, it's crazy. Like the first beginning of the movie, so it's a young girl. Mind you, the inspiration for the director was literally a 10-year-old daughter of a friend of his. But hey, wow, you're a pretty little koala. I was trying to do a female Australian accent. It did not come out right. We'll try it anyway. No, I can't. I can't get the high pitch. We'll just do a normal Australian accent. How about that? Whoa, an actual new anime local? Yeah, that sounded so European. Forgive me, guys. How's it going? Me? I'm just hanging out, getting a feel for it all, you know. The name's Faith, by the way. Ah, if you need a time off when your shoulders relax so hard it feels like they fall off, well, I'm not going to be here long, so I better make the most of it. I don't even know where this accent's going anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I just right off the cliff. Aloha. Where does the name Faith come from? Also, is this my horse or that's my horse? So then my deer is over here. My deer is over here. Maybe what I should do is I should hire somebody to do a voiceover for my female characters. Anything's better than, "You're always welcome to stop in and relax here, dearie." And then people are like, oh, it's so bad. Oh, can you show me? Here's your lost book. Oh, you found my lost journal. I didn't think I'd see this again. I feel like I owe you big time. See, here's my problem with it. It's so bad. My accent is so terrible when it comes to females. Because, like, you want a higher pitch voice, but sometimes you talk higher pitch also. So you just end up, like, making it feel like a screwdriver's being jammed into somebody's ear. But anyway, so it's a young girl. She's in a car ride. No siblings, just her and her parents. And then the dad's trying to navigate, get to where they need to go, and ultimately it leads to a what's it called, a tunnel that they can drive through. Pardon me for a moment of silence as I did not catch this shark, as always. One day, I will stop jinxing myself, and I'll just get good. That's what I'll do. But today was not that day. But he goes through, and they don't realize what they're going through. It's like a tunnel that goes from the real world to the spirit world. So then they make their way through, and once they're there, they're looking around, and it's daytime, so there's like nothing going on. And they eventually find a place where food is being made, and they don't realize that the food is being made for basically the spirits, if you would, and it's not to be eaten by just random humans who are lost. But he's like, I got a credit card anyway, so I'll do it. I do what I want, and so he does, and basically what happens next is the only one who doesn't eat it, the wife eats it, and the dad eats it, but the little girl, who's the main character, does not eat it. So what ends up happening is everybody but her, that being her parents, turn into pigs. And it's like, okay, you wanna act like a pig, you'll be treated like a pig, and basically it's heavily insinuated they are going to be slaughtered and turned into food for the next round. As it turns to nighttime, the spirits start to come on in, and basically she's now on a timer. So then she follows the path to where the spirits are going, and she finds a bathhouse. That's where she ends up meeting all sorts of different characters, and basically she's hoping that she can work off like any kind of like spiritual debt that her parents may have had for what they did, and ideally get to a point where they can be released, reverse the curse and go home, and everything will be a-okay again. But there's no guarantees. There's no way to tell really if she's doing the right thing or not. It's just go, be a kind, genuine, nice person, and ideally she'll be able to find a cure or a reverse or any type of thing before all is said and done. She ends up meeting a guy who's like he's like a dragon. It's kind of hard to say sometimes. So like if you're of the Western audience, you hear dragon, you might think one thing. Realizing I was supposed to edit this thing, so I'll go get that altered later on. But he's very much an Eastern style dragon. He's long, kind of like azure, and it's just a whole whirlwind. And admittedly, I get their story mixed up with Howl's Moving Castle a lot, basically because it's she's not the strongest, but she is a capable female protagonist who has to rescue what would in other books be considered like the prince type character and whatnot. So yeah, it's very different in how it functions. Actually, I want to put that down. It's these stools that I don't need. I can keep one stool. Cool. it's not the prince is trying to save the damsel, but rather the damsel saving the prince in these in this story, and it's an interesting twist on it, definitely so. Um, and you get to see like all sorts of like likable characters. I feel like one of the cool things about Spirited Away is there's a lot more likable characters than what some other stories have been known to have. So it's always enjoyable to kind of go through it and see like what they have going on with it. But you get like a whole host of what's it called? Different types of what's it called? Words. Oh, got that visual punk dress to go with the visual punk boots. But I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But it's just like a great feel good kind of story. You can kind of feel like they do have their moments where like you might feel a little bit like hapless here and there, but like it's not like it's the entire time. It's not like it's this big, long, dreary slog of an emotional roller coaster. She has her moment of vulnerability that you can relate to, but overall, it's just a good story that you can come back to and say, like, you know, man, I just really enjoy watching Spirited Away. And it's definitely, it's one of those things where, like, I would argue, um, is it deserving of the Academy Award that it got? Yeah, definitely so. Um, does it is it deserving of getting an Academy Award where certain other Studio Ghibli films did not get one? That's where we would have to have our disagreements, and I do think other ones were overlooked, but it's neither here nor there. And now, before I go speaking out of my butt, I will preface this with I don't know exactly which ones got an Academy Award, which ones didn't. To that, I mean that it got a lot of positive press because it was, I believe it was the first one to get one, but that doesn't mean that there are other ones since then that didn't get one. I believe there are some that still did, and it's one of those weird things. It's a disconnect where, like, you know, mainstream Hollywood's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this movie's not good. It's just an internet meme type thing," and so then you forget that like the vast majority of people who engage in media do so on the internet. So if you're trying to slight something against the people who actually like it, you may find yourself suffering with your own personal disconnect, as they're basically just you're exposing ah, exposing yourself as just being somebody who's more what would be the term, ignorant than anything else. But I digress. It's neither here nor there. But Spirited Away is definitely a great. I know it sounds like it sounds kind of like I keep repeating the same thing every single time, but more or less that's kind of how it goes. It's another fantastic movie, definitely worth a watch. Um, don't feel bad if you watch it and you're like, I'm so confused about a lot of things going on. One of the things about some when you watch a film that's from another country is that they may have cultural references that you might not necessarily get to understand very well, and that's just how it goes sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I feel like that'd be better if it was like facing downward, but I think it's perfectly fine as it is right now. I might move it somewhere else. I don't know. Because like what I could do is just straighten this path to make it a flat T. And then if I did, I would probably have to move something like this over here so that it's more of a fauna type decoration. You know what I mean? Just drop it there and it falls off to the side again because I don't know what I'm doing. So then you drop it again because I like the way this path came out where it just kind of feels like it's what's it called? Very connected over here. Probably smarter to just put like over here though. There we go. Now I'm not afraid to like have it like literally be like right there on the side though. Also, I think that's good. And then what I could do is if I straighten this path out, I could just put this right here in front of this tree and then put like a stack of books next to it. That's probably what we'll end up doing. But that's just brainstorming out loud. But it's very, very good all the way around. It's been a great Studio Ghibli week. These were my top 5 favorite Studio Ghibli movies. Again, not in any particular order. So if you're like, oh wow, really? Spirited Away is like your hands down favorite, or if you're taking it the opposite direction, saying, oh, Spirited Away is not your favorite, like wow, like you'd say it's number 5, like behind Grave of the Fireflies or something like that. No, there's no particular order that I was giving it. It was just me basically saying 5 movies that I liked that I think you would definitely benefit from watching too as well. There's so many more out there, and tomorrow we will wrap it up. I'll basically give the brief summary and the rundown about Ghibli week and include a few films that were not mentioned in depth, but they definitely deserve a nod. But until next time, guys, don't forget to, like and subscribe if you enjoy the vibe that we have going on over here. And if you happen to like Spirited Away, or even if you didn't like Spirited Away, feel free to let me know in the comment section how you really feel. But remember that life is about making mistakes and making memories. Nobody's perfect, but you're trying your hardest. Until next time, I'll see you guys next time.